To our first EP collab, man. Oakland Vallejo, the Bay Area, stand up. I'm from that town. She from Vallejo. Said let's collab. She said okay. We all should play. Hot potato. Whoever got the hottest challenge accepted. It's me, I'm the best. Like creative players on hunters, no less. The lines in your forehead just told me you stressed it. Got G-O-D on me side. Ooh, he blessed me. All these lies they tell it's a vaccine. They're acting it's so bad like it's wrestling. Keep my circle so small it's insane. If you made the cut then you're part of my team. Just like bowling at pint called strikes don't gutter. Attracted to the mind but I like my hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too.
Hey, welcome to the channel. I am Mrs. Best. We have James here from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Hey.
Hello, James.
Hello.
We are here to go over the Never Ever Met. Apologies, y'all. I got tired of looking at Alexis and Dominique on the picture, so I went on the OWN network and took the picture and put my own little company logo there because I'm tired of looking at them. I'm tired of it. So apologies. We will work on a better, looking photo of the cast as time goes on. But for this live, this is just going to have to do. We can see the people who we need to see. And the people we don't need to see the clearest or up close are the ones that we don't need to see the clearest and up close. How you doing today, James Jackson?
I am doing good. It is Saturday. I had a very stressful week, so I'm happy to see the weekend. I hope it goes by very, very slow, or I come into something very, very big.
I like that. That's super positive. Let's get into it. You guys are here to do Never Ever Met. IDK About IRL, for those who are not good with acronyms, I don't know about in real life. That is what that means. It's season 1, episode 3. This is a new show, so I'm kind of like, okay, let's look into it. I never really recap on shows, but I'm doing it. This show has been the Hot Mess Express, y'all, from like beginning to now, and I think it's going to stay that. So Aaron H. and Diamond, which are the couple above the B3ST logo to the left, they are talking to Sienna and Brandon about their issues. Before I go any further with explaining what they talked about, this bothered me. I don't know if you felt the same, James, but this really bothered me. Even as a person who's been in a relationship and married for 15 plus years, I wouldn't just insert myself to give another couple advice. And I'm literally.
Well, here's the thing, and I said that last week about Millie and Greg. I felt like I don't need the couples counselors who are in the exact same situation, and it seems like that's what they're trying to do. Now, with Diamond and Aaron H, I felt like I was not as apprehensive because they're older, but then once again, I feel like with those two, they're beyond help. I do. I feel like with Sienna and Brandon, they are beyond help. They just are. And I feel like they're just going to BS their way on this whole show because they're on it. And they ain't trying to end up like Alexis and Dominique now that we know that a couple can go home to either physical violence or lack thereof.
I think that that's actually a good point. I'm glad that you brought that up. I felt like Alexis and Dominique going home is either going to make, it's not going to make anybody act naturally because now they have a fear of being sent home, which if it's real, then it's like, okay, that means you're separated from this person. And if it took you this long to see each other, how you know you're going to be able to see each other when you leave this show? And I also think that's a hole in the concept of the show.
Yes,
if it's taking some of these couples 5 years, 12 years, 3 years, 10 months, which is almost a year, to me, if I like someone, that is too long. I am the type of person who will tell people, they're like, oh, you moved in with this person too soon, or oh, do you think I did this too soon? Absolutely not, because moving in is how you find out what you need to know ahead of time. It saves you some years, maybe. Okay. So, but I'm just annoyed and feel like, okay, how are they going to continue and maintain seeing each other if they weren't able to do it after leaving the show? And I feel like leaning toward the end of the show, I want to see them discuss that, because right now it's not fully making sense. But yeah, I was very annoyed with Diamond and Aaron, talking to them about their issues, just because we haven't really learned much about them. And they have been talking on and off for 5 years, I believe. And
Mm-hmm.
very weird because so far I don't see love between these two. I see his fetishes, which I'll get into later. So Howard
Not
will
only that, I love how we swept under the rug this whole engagement thing, as if that wasn't a point of contention here.
it has to be. And she stated it was.
Yes. So where did that go? Is that going to come up later again, where we're
What do
going to
you
forget
think?
about it? Like, where are we going with you two?
For real. I think that's fair. I really do feel like that's fair. So in the conversation though, even though we can both agree they probably shouldn't have been offering advice, none of these couples can offer advice to each other. They've all done it the wrong way. I'm saying it. And listen, I met my partner online. Fun fact, I met Also Best online, did not go to school with him, did not live in the same neighborhood as him at the time, the same city. We literally met online, not knowing each other at all. And we talked for a couple months before ever even meeting in person. Now, if we can figure out how to meet each other in person at 17 and 19, then I'm pretty sure that these adults with jobs can figure it out too. Because some of them too also live in the same city. But I don't feel like they're in the space to any of them to give advice to each other for any capacity. But when they talk, Sienna basically cuts Aaron off so bad. She does not give him the opportunity to speak. She is insufferable. She is someone who literally thrives and lives off of arguing or just being difficult, combative. I don't know what it is with her, but she cuts Aaron off so bad that Diamond and Aaron, who are not qualified to do couples counseling, who are trying to, have to get a doggone guitar of some sort and be like, okay, when this person's holding it, that means he can talk. And when she's holding it, then vice versa. That's usually what happens in like counseling sessions where couples are like literally at the end. Like, from what I'm learning with counseling, like that's when people are like at the end and have to deal with each other for long periods of time or stuff like that. Why the hell do y'all need mediation like that? If they have to literally make someone hold a guitar, to me, once I saw that at the beginning of this scene, I was like, this relationship is done. There is no fixing it. There's no hope for reconciliation. You guys can't even talk to each other without being mediated. What are you going to do when there's not somebody around to mediate you? To me, it's like it didn't matter what y'all were discussing. It's just not going to work at all. But basically, she's tripping on him still. She says that third-party people are in the way and that they could be trying to steal him from her. Then she flips out on him and says that the reason she did so when they a couple episodes ago was because she expressed a vulnerable thing. So because you're vulnerable, you flip out on someone. I did not see that he laughed, and if he did, it wasn't offensive.
I feel like she made that up. I felt
It's
like
no
she
excuse
made
to
that up.
call him a bitch either way.
Yeah, either way, that's absolutely true. But I feel like she made that up. Unless we didn't see it, I can't even. And then he tried to justify it with the laugh. I felt like you didn't need to justify that. You could have just had an expression based on her. Like, I would have been taken back. Okay, y'all, let's put this in perspective because I saw a lot of other recappers saying that they feel like he was manipulating her to come out of that kind of character. I feel like nobody that I don't know can bring that out of me. I'm sorry. That's y'all can miss me with the excuses. Could he be manipulating the situation? Sure, but she should be smart enough to understand that. So, but here's what I'm gonna say about that part. They had a conversation about Florida, about homes, about futures, and things to that extent, and she was on board with it. She was on board with it. The reason why she did not, the reason why she started to fall off is because the host pointed it out. You like to be in control all the time, and the man say, yeah, I feel like I'm finna go to sleep here. I feel like I'm bored. And when someone else has control over the entire situation, yes, the other person's going to feel in the void. And if that means boredom, then that's what it is. She took offense to that because how dare you call my perfectness boring? And then how dare you call my perfectness inconsistent? So, no, I'm sorry. I feel like for him to try to justify and try to put an excuse to that, I feel like that was unnecessary. She did what she did. You saw what it was, and that's it. And if you choose to be with her after that, then so be it. But don't be trying to make excuses for your actions as if that needs to be
Here's the
justified
thing
for because it doesn't.
I don't like that other recappers are saying that he manipulated her to do that. To manipulate someone especially when we're watching on camera, it would be very visible. I think that is an example of confirmation bias, which we call it in psychology. Just
Right.
because something happened in your life or with your situation or how you guys dated, because there are a lot of dudes who pull crap like that, doesn't mean that the person we see on the screen is doing that. Also, I find it interesting that people are so quick to find an excuse for her behavior versus hold her accountable for it. And Sienna's behavior is definitely the hot mess express. It's okay to hold people accountable. Some people do be manipulating situations like, I'm here. I love it. Welcome, Jim Buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, I don't feel like there was manipulation. I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts, especially having family in New York, like in the trenches out there and stuff. Like the women out there can be like more aggressive, more boisterous than other spaces. I feel like that's a piece of it. The other piece of it, I feel like there's something off with Sienna, like, and not in a way that's personal, like professionally. I feel like she could use an evaluation or a psychological assessment of some sort. I'm not saying I think she's hearing voices or nothing like that, but there's definitely something off and her behavior doesn't make sense. But I don't think this couple gonna work. I thought it as soon as she called him a bitch, because no one can manipulate me to call my man out of his name, even if he's irritating me. If you like a person or care about a person, you can't really be manipulated into calling them a name. That's your choice. You know, it's almost like saying the other person has too much power. So that's weird. But moving on, y'all. Greg and Aaron H are talking, and they are discussing the fact that Joanna and Aaron J, I brought the regular picture up because the other one was annoying me. So sorry, y'all, I switched it, but y'all are fine. You can still see. But Joanna and Aaron H basically have no connection. They like, and this
That's
is
Aaron J.
I know that's what just Joanna and Aaron J have no connection.
You said Aaron H.
Oh, I thought I said J, but either
No,
way,
you didn't. I was like, wait. I'm like,
Aaron
when?
J,
I'm like,
they have no connection, and Aaron H and Greg are talking about this. Here's my thing. I don't think that Aaron J, he makes my gaydar go off. I'm gonna just say it. Y'all can cancel me if he is gay. I don't care. I think it's a beautiful thing. I have a lot of gay friends. I love my gays. Honestly, they're funner than some of the rest of y'all. But he makes it go off. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but he's like, I don't know. It could be a woman that looks like a dirty, mildewed, molded trollop that's grown from the ground and been rained on or something. Like, and a man will still be actively trying to get the lady to like him, or hell, if it's a man with a man, like if people like each other, there's something there. He's not making an effort at all.
He reminds me of Alex from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. He does. He reminds me of Alex. He does. And I'm not saying that to be shady or funny. I'm just saying the lack thereof of your like affiliation with the person makes me feel like you may not want to be with that type of person or that type of being, because and then your affection towards the men in the house is very strange to me. I pointed out last week, for any of those who did not watch me and Mrs. Vester's recap, I pointed out how he when it came to Alexis leaving the house, how he put his head or his head on, was it Aaron H or was it Brandon? It was one of those two. I couldn't tell them apart at that time. He had put his head on their shoulder, joining in on the hug instead of just waiting for his turn to get a hug. I thought that was weird. And also, there was another thing that he had did in the hot tub when it came to Greg. He said, "Oh, you got the Michael B. Jordan abs," and it was like, why so specific to some like an actor like that is known for having a good body? Like, why are we doing that kind of comparison? Because first of all, um, Greg does not have Michael B. Jordan abs. We gonna put that out there now. So
he's
yeah.
also got too much taco meat, if y'all know what I'm saying.
Right. So that was a weird comparison altogether. So it was like, No, I'm not getting
Why
it.
is Jim Bunny saying that Aaron looks like 21 Savage? And now I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. I cannot unsee it. I do see that. He does. Oh, this is even worse. He looks like the not heterosexual version of 21 Savage. He does look like it. I didn't see it till she said something, but damn. But I think everybody can agree that there's no connection.
I can see it a little bit actually. Fair. It's when Savage cut his hair. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does have hair.
Yeah, he has hair. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to. I was like, maybe. Okay.
It's the
Maybe.
weird
Yeah.
way. Lord help us. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I feel like they don't have a connection. Aaron H. or oh Lord, Aaron J. and Joanna. It's too many damn Aarons on the new show. But I wish producers would call it out. At least try to make the show look real. Hell, they did that on Flavor of Love. She's not really here for you, Flav. Send her home. Can somebody say that they not there for each other?
Okay, for real. Where Red Oyster when I need her? Where Red Oyster at when I need her? Because I tell you, Red Oyster was getting everybody about that house. Oh, you are trying to be a model, Flav. She's here to further her modeling career. Who's calling
that whip?
Okay. Wait, who's calling her? Flav. She's calling her ex-boyfriend from the house. When I tell you Red Oyster got them girls about that house so quick, I was like, yes, where Red Oyster at? Red Oyster, you supposed to be on this show.
I need an investigative somebody on these dating shows. Just said, why do they have 9 Aarons on the show? I don't be messing up like this doing recaps, you guys, but and then when it would be one thing if they just said this the Aaron who's with Diamond or this the Aaron who's with Joanna, but they want to put that doggone initial at the end, and that's what throws me. And then you got J and H. They both, you don't realize how similar the letters sound until you got to say them. I'm just
that's because they're 2 letters apart in the alphabet. So I mean, of course, yeah, yeah, like
tested by English, tested
right, just testing all kind of things. Yes,
Lord, I just want to remind everybody. 2, Alexis and Dominique are not on the show anymore. As quiet as they like to keep it, because they're doing interviews like they still on this show, says James Jackson. They are not on this show anymore. But before we move further and continue with the recap, we couple minutes in, I'm gonna just let y'all know. James informed me that these 2 have been doing interviews places, alluding and saying that the show is fake. You guys, we haven't thought that reality TV was real since Flavor of Love. We pretty much lost the idea that it was all real since then. So, the show is fake and you're doing interviews going against the show because you guys are upset that you got put out of the show because one of you got too drunk and got emotionally crazy and the other one handled it by putting their hands on a female, which you should not do. You're both wrong. You're both at fault. You both need to go outside, touch grass, talk to God. And then from there, realize that doing interviews, saying that a show is fake, that you were so eager to be on, is probably not going to make it to where other networks want to deal with you.
And I want to add context to this because let me tell y'all something. Yeah, that part. But let me tell you something. This is something that people deal with outside of being in a controlled space, which y'all were in a controlled space. This domestic DB is nothing to play with, no matter if you think the show is fake or real. Y'all both displayed inappropriate behavior, more so on Dominique's side, by him putting his hands on it. And for you, Alexis, to jump behind him on the bandwagon of trying to expose the show for being fake, we already knew that. So it's really disheartening to see y'all do this because this doesn't change how I say. It actually makes me look at y'all worse than how I did before. And all you YouTubers trying to give them they shine as if they deserve it at the end of the day, stop interviewing these 2.
Listen, I'm with the YouTubers. Get your content, but
go off the way we do. Because them coming on y'all shows doing that's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who they are outside of this show. Well, we know who one of them is, actually. We can kind of standpoint now. I know who one of them. I don't know the other. I'm gonna put it that way. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I have to say about it. That's just
I just hate when people do that when you're on reality TV because we know regardless if you go on a show, it's life changing. You're gonna get paid, and if you don't get paid, you're gonna get exposed to so many people that you could get brand, deals and all of that. Damn, Jen said they do look volatile. They do. They looked like a problem when we did the first recap of this show. We were like, we know they're not gonna make it without even knowing them, just seeing the pictures.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I knew this wasn't, and I told Mrs. Best that man is exactly what she goes after. I don't know about him. I don't know if that's what he goes after, but I know that's the kind of man she definitely goes after. So because
yeah,
it just looks right. It just looks like, and her saying that she's never been in that type of situation, I don't believe her.
I don't believe her either.
I
I
don't
don't.
believe her. I'm
I
sorry.
don't.
I don't believe that you have never had a man be. I'm not saying physical violence. I'm not saying that, but verbally, you look like you'll get into it with some men. Like, I'm sorry, that's how
She
you look.
do. She do. She really do. She really do. Just had to get that out, you guys. Moving it along because we recapping the show, so we gotta acknowledge y'all know I don't like pop culture and stuff. I leave that to James. By the way, there's a Watch Your Mouth Reviews collabs playlist on the channel. It has all of our recaps that aren't, or all of the lives we do that aren't shows and stuff, is unpopular opinions, videos such as that. So check it out. Moving on, Brandon whips up a dinner for everybody. And at first I was looking like, did this fool just throw some steak, some overcooked steak over some French fries? But then I saw he was like, this is steak frites, which is basically, it's like a Spanish potato. It's like, I've only ever ordered it at breakfast, to be honest. But it
I've only
is,
seen it at brunch. I've never seen it outside of.
I've never seen it outside of that either. So, but his were just fries. If anyone has seen the frites, you know that they'll give you like a cubed potato sometimes, or
Or it's
it
circled.
yeah,
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
it's different. He just sprinkles some truffle sauce and stuff on some fries. Don't get me wrong, it did look good, but I was like, dang, I'm gonna need more on that plate, because what he had on that plate for me, that's just like
It looked like
my
I would have been hungry 20 minutes later, and then I would have had a
yeah,
problem. Yeah, that's what it looked like for me too. Like I would have been hungry about 20 minutes later because
yeah.
I
And
like,
then he
and especially in those spaces, y'all, they don't eat like regularly. Like we could eat. Like I can go into the kitchen and get something. They can't really do that because
yeah.
the food comes in and then they have to prepare it. Which why was there no? Y'all didn't have enough money in the budget for some chefs,
Or at least to send the cast like Uber Eats, like have them fill out a card of what they want.
right?
Something.
Yeah, like.
Something.
I know I date online, but see, I'm not gonna go on no show like this, and then y'all ain't gonna feed nobody because then I'm gonna talk about everybody.
Right.
For
Hangry
real.
is
Yeah.
not good. Uh But while they're at the table, they all decide to play a little game. Well, Diamond says she wants to play a game, and the game is basically rating the couples and things of that nature. So they rated the most dramatic couple as Sienna and Brandon, because everyone thinks Sienna is crazy, which she is. Something's wrong. The lights are on, but there's not always someone home, if y'all know what I mean. Um, they said the couple that would benefit the most from therapy. Also, Sienna and Brandon. Let me make it to where y'all could see. Oh, you can't see them. I'm tripping. Anywho, Aaron H says that the lack of intimacy means that the lack of intimacy should go to Joanna and Aaron because they don't have no connection, which we can all agree. Joanna claims that they do have a connection, but she says that she doesn't feel the need to be all over a man. Girl, bye. Bye. Adios, sayonara, au revoir. Na jumbo. Goodbye. It doesn't make any sense. If you like somebody, I don't care if you're a girl, a boy, a man, a woman, a fourth grader, my cat, when he see the female cat next door through the window, I don't care who you are. If you like somebody, it's not always about being all over them like, yes, dear, and like a puppy holding their hands, PDA, but you're going to at least try to like be in their space. Like, and she just seems annoyed. So she said that elevator doesn't go all the way to the top. Listen.
No, because what annoyed me about that question particularly is that they were trying to give it to Cena and Brandon as the couple who had the least amount of intimacy. And I was like, oh, that's a good deflection. Good deflection. No, 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 no. Let's stay on par here. The couple that has the least intimacy issues is Joanna and Aaron because they don't show any intimacy. So if I'm judging it off face value, I'm going to say them first before I then go to Cena and Brandon because I don't believe Cena and Brandon have it either. But for sure, my first would have been Joanna and Aaron.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, just look at the fact Brandon and Sienna, at the very least, every time you catch them on camera, they're laid up somewhere with each other before they getting into their arguments. If she's going crazy, they're laid up with each other, chilling, just
Hmm.
around each other. That is a part of intimacy.
Right.
Anna and Aaron, hey, you want to
He
come
be
in
in
the
a
hot tub?
jacuzzi.
Right.
She be up in her room doing makeup, and it's like, well, where's the
Why are you
intimacy
doing
there?
makeup if you don't want your man to like appreciate it?
Right.
That's for me.
I'm
I
not, and y'all, and I'm not saying every couple got to be like Shay and Josh over there that take advantage of the intimacy room. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that there needs to be a middle. At least Millie and Gray, we ain't got there yet. Sorry, but at least they're trying.
they are. I give
They
them that.
at least they're trying. And Millie kind of getting on my nerves a little bit, but at least they are trying some effort here. Joanna and Aaron are not trying at all, which makes me
No.
feel like they're here to be on TV.
Well, I
I'm
feel
starting
like
to get
Aaron like tries in these little ways, or and was like in the earlier, like the first other two episodes. But I will say he's not trying enough, but he at least is making some type of attempt. And I feel I don't know. This couple needs to go. I don't buy it. I don't buy
I
it.
don't see him making
I
that
don't
much
buy
of
it.
an. I don't see neither one of them making an effort, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair too. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. So the roast moment, the most I said the roast. That's because y'all, I got a roast. I'm about to make a roast, though, and it's
I
in
am
my mind.
tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Oh, look at the Lord work. I love
Right?
it. I love it. That's because your friend Leona has been threatening me for one for like months, months. Like threatening me, popping up at my house. You made that roast. You can't come here like that, girl. Anywho, crazy friends, y'all. She really will pop up at my house. The most romantic couple went to Shay and Josh, and it also went to Chris and Sandia. Um,
I thought that was BS for Chris and Sandia. They are not romantic at
I
all.
see
So
them like cupcake a little bit, but it's not
I
like
see submissive and dominance.
that's a good point.
I don't see it being reciprocated as love. So no, I'm not going to give that to them. Shay and Josh, absolutely. I will give that to them because they are, as I said, they are the only two that are taking advantage of the intimacy room.
Yeah, they are.
I feel like they have been in that thing every night since they have been here, and it's only been 3 days. I feel like they have been there every single night. I promise you. And the only other couple I would give intimacy with, no, I wouldn't give it to anybody else. Never mind, no, because I don't see it in Diamond and Aaron either. Aaron H. I don't see it with them either.
Yeah, I know some people like to think that they see it because he's coming on as like the cool
No,
uncle,
yeah, they
and
coming off like auntie and uncle that they've been married
but
25 years, and the intimacy is
things
gone.
look different for different generations. He's just, in my opinion, an F boy of his generation.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to that later because I was traumatized to where I almost called my mommy, and she get on my nerves, y'all, because I had to see some traumatizing things on this show between Diamond and Aaron H that my little brain just could not process it. So we will come back to all of that, but it was a mess.
Uh-oh.
It was, they stressed me out. They really did. But everybody thinks after playing this game at the table, they noticed that Jody, aka Joanna, has a lot of positive things to say when it comes to Chris, who is supposed to be there with Sandia. The reason I feel like it's kind of like, red flag. Chris, the things he said in the first episode, how he changed up on Sandia, things like that. I don't buy anything that comes out of his mouth. I don't buy him. He seems like the type that would talk to another person if he could in the house. The other thing is Joanna. This is why people think you full of shit. I'm just keeping it real because the energy that you give to Chris is like really kind. I do agree with the cast in that it's kind, it's patient, and it's a little more than all the other men in the house. Why is it more than the man that's supposed to be yours? So I do think that's strange. You don't want to be, especially like, even though I am married, if I'm around friends who are single or who are like, come to dinner with me and my new boo or something like that, like I'm not going to be overly friendly with their partner. I think there's a boundary in being
Absolutely.
respectful. And I do think that Joanna is breaking that a little bit. Comment if y'all think that something different, because that's just me. I'm like, why do you need to be so friendly and in a space? I understand people can be cool, and whatnot. But the way that Sandia be looking quietly, and then James says this is dominance and submissiveness. That's a submissive woman's way of looking and saying, I don't like this, but I can't really say too much
Right,
about
because the dominant woman be like, what is going on here?
right.
What did I just what wait, what was that just flew up in here?
It's not always a woman
Yeah.
coming around your man dressed in a certain way or wanting to look
Right. It was
good.
like,
It
no,
can be
there
the
was
over
connection.
friendliness.
No, the telephone poles connected. What is going on here? I don't get this. No, that's how I felt. I was like, but she just gonna give him a look. And I was like, no, there needs to be more than this. And this is what I'm talking about with those two. That's why I don't see it for them. Because the problem is that she's not setting her boundaries right with him. And I don't think culturally she knows how, because I really feel like that's an American thing. I really do, where we
Yes.
understand boundaries with people where, look, you cannot cross this line with me. And if you cross this line, there's going to be consequences. I think we're starting to adapt that as more and more as a frequent behavior, more so than other countries. And because she is, international, I feel like she hasn't learned that subside yet. But you need to learn it quickly, man, because you don't give that much freedom to that kind of man. I'm telling you that now.
I would have been like, y'all so giggly. Can I get on this conversation? Why are you so friendly with other people's men, girl? Something. But there was nothing. I also feel like Aaron J on the other end, like if you see a female doing something like that or too friendly, like speak up, say something. He just looks around at the table with that earring. Just like, and it's like, if this is supposed to be your female, speak up. This is weird. I just don't trust it. Anywho, moving on,
It
y'all.
is weird. Yeah, it is. It's highly strange, and it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to get annoying almost.
I
Because it's
agree.
like,
Why?
really?
Why are you under a
Why?
restriction if you just in this house to be in this house sleeping on a twin bed with a bunch of other females? For what? Go home if you're not interested in the man
Unless
that
you
you
ain't got
like.
unless you ain't got a twin bed at home, then then we really got
And
a
that
problem
probably
here.
would have made her more memorable too on the show. Like I got here to see if that connection over the phone and virtually was the same in person. It's just not, and I can't get past it. So the right thing for me to do is go home. At least I got to know.
Or the
It's
right thing for me to do is to figure it out. Like, I think that would be the other alternative. I'm not connecting with him right now, and I can't tell what it is. I can't tell you if it's his being. I can't tell you if he shows up differently on the phone than he does here. I can't tell what it is, and I would like the time to get to know what that is, and then I'll make my decision of whether or not I'll go forward. If she would have came like that, then I would understand, because this,
yeah,
y'all, the concept is crazy either way. So if they're coming into the situation, they still don't know these people like physically. They know them intellectually and mentally, because all they've had was communication through either a phone or FaceTime or however they wish to communicate. But yeah, it would be okay for me as somebody who recaps the show with my best friend. Like, I would say, okay, yeah, she just needs to find her bearings with him, because it's hard. It's not like they are meeting alone. You have these cameras, you have these other couples. It's intimidating. But she's not coming off like that. So that's why I'm like, it's BS.
yeah. Something gives me she wants to promote her businesses and the things that she does for a living. But I will get back to that later. But something tells me that about Joanna. So finishing this stupid ass game, y'all. The couple in most need of the boom boom room. They gave it to Millie and Greg. Millie and Greg are the couple. We are on the own website at the bottom. They're so funny to me, but they gave that to them, which is interesting. And the least compatible, who argues, and the most toxic, all went to Sienna and Brandon. I don't think anybody was surprised. All they have done is argue in the house. To have so much to argue with someone about who you've only been with for a few days and you're just now meeting for the first time, it's like, if that's not a red flag, to just throw in the towel, let it go, quit, run off the field, go in the opposite direction of each other. I don't know what is. It drives me crazy. So Taronda, aka Portia from Empire, I don't know why she's hosting the show or how she got here, but she's here. She basically comes and explains that family and friends, people who are close to the couples, are going to be arriving at the house. Sienna and Brandon will be the first people to have their loved ones come. And she is amazed that people think that they lack compatibility. I don't understand why you would be surprised that people feel you guys lack
I think
compatibility
because
when you're arguing like back
right.
and forth.
I think that she's looking at it from a standard where she's thinking that the affection is the incompatibility. I think that that's where her mind is confused, and because it is, it's confused. You're confused on what they talk about with compatibility. Compatibility doesn't always mean just affection. I could be very affectionate with somebody and not have no compatibility whatsoever because I love people. That's just I'm an over hugger. I love to hug. I love to touch. I love doing all that. And I am respectful. I don't go and just start filling up on people. No, that's not what I do. I am very affectionate. I hold hands. I'm very like that. I 2020 didn't break that of me. I still do it today. So I think that she's confusing that. I think that that's what she's thinking because there's no way you think that you're compatible with this man if you calling him all type of bitches, and I just don't think that's not compatibility for me. So
For
that's
me,
why
the bigger problem with Sienna, and we'll get to this in a moment, is that she doesn't see that she's the problem. I'm not saying that Brandon is a perfect person. I'm not
that's
saying
it.
he's a perfect partner. I'm sure he's flawed, but when it comes to what we've seen on the show so far, she is the problem.
No, he like no, yeah, but no, he lacks in density as well. It's not just her; it's definitely him too. But I feel like because she made it so apparent to reflect hers more than he does. I think that that's why the focus is on her, and this is why I'm telling you, ladies, it's best to sit back in the cut and observe in these type of
It really
situations
is. It
versus
really
you
is.
trying to insert your being and then it comes off where someone can't really recognize or really have a clear inclination of what you're trying to do in this moment.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
really what we're talking. See, oh, go ahead because you finna get there. I'm about to
yeah.
jump
So
ahead. Sorry.
Brandon's friend Matt comes. I guess they've known each other since the third grade. That haircut is terrible and he needs to let it go. I don't want that. I don't want to see that again, Matt. I want you to change that and make better decisions and make better choices. If you got to go see one of our brothers, a black barber, go do it. But I don't want to see that ever again, Matt. But I do think it's wonderful that they have been friends since the third grade. That is, it's just good to have long-term friendships. And I think it also says a lot about
Absolutely.
people's character when you can keep a person in your life for such a long period of time. Um, so I will give them that. Outside, Diamond, Aaron, Shay, and Josh are talking. And oh, hold on, y'all. And what they're talking about is interesting because James was questioning this. They're talking about the fact that Josh and Shay have been dating for 12 years. They're the couple top left corner. He's in Memphis. She is in Florida. Really, they're not that far from each other in terms of plane fare. Look it up. It's affordable. But they have not met for 12 years. They've been together. Now, James caught in the earlier episodes, he's like, there's something off because he said they've been together 12 years, but he has a 3-year-old. So that means he had a baby on her, which was confirmed in this episode. And I believe he said he has a 12-year-old also. So whatever the case, it was confirmed that he did make a baby on Shay. And to me, that's not an excuse. If you claim to love this person, like, I don't know. Can I say that on YouTube? Get you a pocket pussy, dude. Like, if you really claim to love the chick, no one says that you have to go and make a baby with someone else. Because I guarantee you, making a baby on Shay was 10 times more expensive than buying a plane ticket from Memphis to Florida to go visit her.
No, it just makes me question all the years before that up until that baby.
Yeah, you were doing other stuff.
Yeah, it makes me question. And the reason why I say that, y'all, is because nobody just up and says, "Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a baby in year number 7." Nobody does that. Like I just for me, I'm not with that. To me, it seemed like, and this is my opinion, I don't want nobody coming after me. It just seems like this man had very many options year 1 up until year 7 and maybe even beyond 7, 8, and 9, and then was playing the field. It just seems that way because there's no way that I'm thinking that you're gonna have a baby in our 12-year situation and I'm thinking that you're faithful the entire time.
Yep.
And then Shay, what was your reaction to the baby? Like, what was your reaction?
Oh, she says that she had to forgive it and that she couldn't really get mad and that she respected him because he told her about it right when it happened versus waiting and allowing her to find out after the kid was already here. When I say that that was the dumbest and most ignorant statement that I have heard from anybody in a relationship, you're going to forgive it just because he told you the truth. That doesn't take away from the fact that not
That
only
he
did
still
you
did
cheat
the
on me,
action.
but you cheated on me without protection. And you did it in a way that made another woman feel safe enough to have your child.
Yeah.
There's so much more to that story. There's so much more to that story.
Absolutely, which is why I call that they have met before. I don't think this is the first time they have met because she's too easy to forgive. It just seems like I can believe they met online, y'all. I'm not saying that I don't think they definitely met online. I can believe that, but I don't believe that they went 12 years and never saw each other at least once in those 12
I
years
agree. I agree. I agree.
because
There's
she's too
definitely
easy to forgive a situation. First of all, there is no way that I met somebody online that I have not met physically that could have a baby in the midst of this online situational shit. And I'm just gonna stick beside them and say because he told me he was honest. No, that's gonna make me say, okay, so from year 1 to year 7, were you faithful? Up until that baby, were you faithful?
I don't understand. Listen,
Yeah.
if
So
you're gonna
no,
stay with people, and this will probably be a panel I do because I'm going to start having panels and podcasts with my great manifested free B Bunny. But if you are going to stay with somebody after they cheat, at the very least, you better make sure that you have investigated, hired the PI, talked to the police, put an SOS into the sky. You better have done everything that you could have done to make sure that you have caught up and found out about anything that's happened in the past that could happen, that could come back. Uh, that's wild to me, but I don't know. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I
it's
know Donna's
wild, but at the same time, it just makes me look at her with the inkling that low self-esteem is really
yep,
the factor here.
it has to
And
be.
there's low self-esteem is really the factor here. The fact that one, it took me, if we're believing this story, let's put context. If I believe this story, one, it took you 12 years to meet the person, and in the middle of that 12 years, he has a baby, and your first inkling is to forgive him because he was honest with you about having the baby. But I mean, we don't see the bigger issue here. Okay, fine. Because she got
She
to sleep with
kind of
him, y'all, not
playing.
me. So okay, fine.
I feel like she probably, because they weren't able to meet, let's say that their whole situation is truthful. I feel like because they weren't able to meet or something like that, in her mind, she's probably making that a reason that
No,
it's okay for him to do what he did. But it's not okay. He seems to be
it could be that. It could be that.
problematic,
But see,
but
I'm thinking it's more so self-esteem issues because he is light skinned and she is a little bit dark. It's colorism plays into this for me. Colorism, and I don't think she's confident in how she looks because to me, if this is the best wig she can come up with on national TV, then it makes me feel like the other wigs are probably worse than this. And I feel like it is a self-esteem issue here. Stop laughing. I'm trying to be serious. No, I'm just saying. I just feel like there is a self-esteem issue because I feel like if that's the best way she can come up with on TV, that means the other ones that are at home ain't no better. And I just feel like she really does have a problem with how she looks. This is me outside looking in because that's too much to forgive, y'all. I'm sorry. That is too much to forgive for somebody I really don't know like that and that I've been playing on the phone with for 12 years. That's too much for
that's
anybody.
the other thing. I think I'm gonna do a live about that. Can you attain and grow so much love and affection that that's gonna make you put up with something like that? Because for me, I have to see you in person. I have to be able to fill you out. I gotta
Mhm.
know that you like to kick it with Ralph on Sundays and that you might be at Auntie Tanya's house on Wednesdays. Like I need to know where you could be, where you might be, where you all I couldn't do it. I'm not built for long distance though, y'all. I'm
I am, but at the same because I did it, I've done it 3 times. But at the
not.
same time, and it was funny is when we came together is when we ended. It's like all when we came when we decided to come together, that's when we end. But to me, the long distance thing is not really the issue. It's the issue is did you really pick a person that is only substantially for you? Is that's what we're talking about? Because the person has to be only for you. they need to say, okay, look, I'm only for you. And that's why I said I have to meet you a few times before I could really determine, okay, yeah, you really for me, we can be long distance. Because sometimes people get on my fucking nerves. So in terms of that, I kind of like my space. I wouldn't be mad at that. I can't do it forever, but I could do a long distance relationship for probably the most a year. And then one of us has to decide who's leaving the
I
area
think
to go to
that's
the other
fair.
person. Yeah.
I feel like 1 to 3 years at max is fair, but these two, I feel like at least they're talking about the obvious, which makes me feel a little better. But which a lot of the other couples aren't fully doing. So moving on, y'all. Thank you for being here. To those who are here, like the video if you like what we're talking about. We do the Never Ever Mets every single week. James is joining us for these. And I found out from Shayna_MCD, who you should check out on YouTube, that we will be putting together a live to discuss the finale of the show and all of that. So be sure to subscribe. We have a lot going on, music reviews, TV recaps, and all of that. Moving it along, Gigi, who is a friend of Sienna, this is her best friend from home, comes to the house, and Sienna is messy. She basically painted Brandon as if he is the only person that's been flipping out. She did not make it seem as though she has gone off or yelled. She made it seem as though he is the toxic one. And I feel like this is where a lot of friendships are tested. And I also feel like this is how you can tell who's your real friends and who are not your real friends. They're going to keep it real with you in situations where they ask. If someone comes to me, I'm not just going to be the type to solicit and offer advice, to all of my friends, unless they really need it. But if somebody asks me and I consider them a friend, I'm gonna keep it real. You need to go. Leave this person, stay with this person. Hell no, don't do that. Or yes, you should do that. Whatever it may be, I'm going to tell my friends the truth because I would want someone to tell me the truth to prevent me from looking like a fool. It's just the better thing to do. Gigi did not do that. I think Gigi knows how Sienna is. I think Gigi has seen Sienna go through this with a few people. I don't think she felt like it was, she either feels like it's something she can't change with Sienna, or Sienna's personality has it to where she don't want to deal with it. And it's like, I don't want to rock the boat.
Or the other one that you're missing, or she's just like Sienna.
Yeah, she's just like her. Yeah, that
she's
could be
just like her.
also.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm looking and I'm like,
it's giving me more so that she's just like her.
Probably
because she didn't even question the severity of what could have really happened in that interaction with me. Because if Mrs. Best comes up to me, everything, and it was like she didn't question anything. And Mrs. Best came up to me and said, "James, me and this person met, and oh my God, he said I was this and that, but check this out, he was over there with old girl, and this is what I would do." Okay, but back up. What happened in that again? Like he said, what that made you do what now? Because she just said it all over that. I was like, well, wait, she
doesn't care.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. She was that friend. I was like, okay, so you just right, wrong, and indifferent. You got your friends back because 9 out of 10, you probably just like this. But that's the toxicity that we're talking about here. And that's why I wish they would have I needed an auntie or a cousin or the mama, or I needed somebody that was going to see beyond the bias. I needed somebody that was going to see beyond the bias. Because one thing, my mom knows me, and she knows that if I did something or something comes back that I did something, she's going to think about it and she goes, "Oh yeah, James, that's something you would definitely do. Why would you do that?"
I don't know what that was, but I think that is probably the reason Sienna is the way that she is and has gotten away with and continue to be this way, especially as it relates to dating. Someone could be the greatest family member, the greatest friend, and a terrible partner. And Sienna just gives me that. If you don't have people telling you the truth, if you don't have people correcting your errors, and if you're not a person who's asking people to point out what you could be doing, that's making you difficult to date, then you're just not gonna get nowhere. I feel like,
well, to me, I've said this already numerous times. I said that it's because Sienna thinks that she's perfect.
Yeah, in her mind, not with them watts, baby.
Yeah, Sienna thinks that she's perfect, and I told you I went through that. I know what she's like, because when you with somebody who thinks they're perfect, and you begin to question that perfection, they go off the deep end. It's like, well, dang, like because you just attacked every inability of their being, and it's like, oh my gosh, I need you to get beyond it and grow up, because that is not what we're doing here. We are talking about the fact that you are this way. I see it and I'm pointing it out to you. And then apparently I'm not the first person to do that. And then also what made me mad about that conversation with her and the friend is that she was talking about him talking to, was it Millie? Yeah, talking to Millie about, but then you didn't mention that you talked to Greg about the same situation.
The other thing that bothered me with that is you holler it about this man talking to Millie because you're so bothered, but you literally share a room with her. Go ask Millie if he said something that you should be alarmed of.
Or
And the
why don't
other
you,
thing, why
yeah.
can't you respect boundaries and privacy? You don't have to know what they discuss, but at the same time, I feel like they could have she could have asked is it something that I should be alarmed of? Do I need to break up with him? Is he gonna break up with me? Little stuff like that maybe, but I don't know. It's just annoying me. Go talk to Millie.
That's what I feel like. I feel like go ask her if you really are that upset about it or if you're that insecure about it. Go ahead and ask her
But
what
that
really
made me
happened.
look at Sienna like she seems like one of those chicks who will get up and go crazy and get up in a man's face and argue and do the most. But when it comes to a female, I don't think that she would keep that same energy. I genuinely don't think that she
I
would.
don't think so either. I agree with you on that. I feel like she, to me, and this is another thing that I don't like about her. To me, it just feels like because you're older than him and have more life experience than him, that you think you know better than him. And that's what I don't like. Because it was the thing about her bringing up the marriage and her bringing up, his failures and everything like that. Because you don't have the same thing, because you have not failed at it, doesn't mean that you won't fail at it when it does come to you. And that's where really I think she's out of tune with reality. I do. I think she's out of tune with reality. I think because most people who are perfect or who portray that they're perfect, they are. They're out of touch with reality. They're out of touch with the reality that hits them every day. Oh no, that didn't happen. I didn't say that word, or I didn't say it in that tone. So then you can't take it like that. That's what she gives me, and that's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. There's other words for that in psychology.
We know,
Narcissist.
yeah, we know. We already called her that. We called her every name in the book, just
Lord,
about.
but she's just a mess. I don't think it's gonna get better with those two. I think we could both agree.
Mm,
But moving on, you guys, Millie and Greg, they are the couple at the very bottom, the little Lenny Kravitz look-alike. Uh, these two are in the hot tub and they're kissing and all of that. And in my opinion, Greg seems to respect her boundaries, says that he respects her for making him wait, those types of things. But then she complains because he kissed her, which to me made no sense because she says that in the complaint, she basically is like, he just kissed me. Like making it seem like he's thirsty. She said that he didn't call me beautiful or anything. Girl, this is why some females are alone and not married. It's not always those BS qualities that you have to listen or don't have your body all out. It's not all of that. It's like little stuff like this. He kissed you. He's looking at you like he wants you. He's respecting your boundary. Why is kissing you a bad thing? You act like it was with tongue. Now, if he would have tried to shove that tongue down your mouth or something, fine. If you weren't cupcaked on him in a hot tub, fine. He kissed you and he didn't try to do more. So if he would have tried to do
I
more, I would have
mean,
felt
he
hurt,
took
but I'm
it.
like,
No, he took it safe. He did not even pressure. It was no intimate pressure of like, okay, he was waiting for her to make the next move, and she all back like this, all the way back, trying to reject those kisses, and it was
yeah.
like, okay, it's
She
like,
says she wants
what?
things to
How
go
much time are we
very
in this? Am I
natural.
am I safe to cuss? Or we already cussed?
Yeah, we've been done that, Jay.
Okay, okay, Millie.
But it's like she says she wants things to be natural and she wants to take things slow. Whenever people are so focused on things being natural or going at a certain pace, they don't realize that unintentionally you're making it unnatural and you're slowing down the pace.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. That you don't want things to be natural. It's giving. I'm sorry, I have to call a spade a spade. Millie, it's given you have a man at fucking home.
But you
It's
did this for
given, yes, and you did this and you told this man that this is only for work. Because your resistance to him is weird when he's done nothing to pressure you or to make you go out of any type of comfort zone that we could see as a viewing audience. So either you have a man at home, I'm sorry, I think they both have other people. I've said this since day one because there's no way I'm a living in California in LA, Canoga Park and La Brea, which is only 30 minutes from each other, that I really do feel like they have other people. That's the only thing that would keep me from seeing somebody is if I know they have somebody else. Because
Hmm.
it's weird. This is strange. It's a strange behavior. This man has been, I feel like he's been patient, but also he's been going above and beyond to make sure he doesn't overstep any uncomfortability you would have in this given
Oh,
situation.
I'm sorry to cut you off. She has an IMDb page and where you can find her resume as well as her agent info, as well as a extensive list of the movies and television shows that she has done. So I don't buy anything after seeing her
Please
page.
put that on this page. Put this on the screen, please.
All right. All right. One moment.
Because now she's gonna make me mad.
I'm just
Now,
saying.
now she's
I
gonna make me
noticed
mad.
when you Google the Never Ever Vets, she is one of the only people whose name comes up as actor. So I'm like, well, maybe she.
And there's
I think
nothing
that
wrong
she
with that.
looks
Let me explain
familiar
something to y'all.
too, but it could not be
Yeah, we
more.
could. Yeah, we. I knew she looked familiar, but I couldn't figure out where I knew her from. And don't get me wrong, she never has a deadly desire run.
You got contact info, agent info, a resume you could go to, but
Scroll
there's
down a little
probably
bit. Scroll down a little bit.
she's known for Deadly Desire, 2023. She was the other woman, Daisy, Death Face versus Bikini Beach Party, Amanda
I've seen
and
the movie. I've seen Run before.
Run. It just says she was Yolanda. She plays
I've
herself.
seen that movie before. Okay, I know who she is now.
Yeah, looks like she was in The Preacher's Son, Chocolate City, Vegas, Hate's Haunted Sleigh Ride.
Okay, so
I don't think that she's here for love.
Millie,
As
are you
I sound like a
bullshitting?
flavor
Okay,
of love.
well, I'm not even gonna get frustrated with you anymore. Millie on here bullshit.
Yeah.
Like Dominique and Alexis were. Millie on here bullshitting.
Yes.
So is Greg bullshitting too, or do you think he's serious?
I think Greg is BSing too, because I feel like I've seen him play something in a show.
I feel like I've seen him too. I feel like I've seen him
His
as well.
face is super familiar, and I
Familiar,
can't put
yes.
my finger on what it is. And I have limited time because my job thinks I'm a slave. They're working me at home, they're working me away from home, they're just working me. But I really do not buy any of Millie anymore. I know people may feel different. It's my channel. You don't like my opinion, comment what yours is. I want to see what it is. Let's see the differences of opinion. But something about her has felt disingenuous to myself and James from the beginning. And the way that she was, especially being an actress in movies where I know that she's had kisses and stuff, for you to be so uncomfortable to kiss this person here was just odd. So that's all I can really say about Millie. I don't buy it. And she's making it unnatural on her own. So I will leave that there. Moving on. Diamond and Aaron go to the boom boom room. The show gave the couples a room where they can do it together. I have a problem with that. My husband was actually watching this episode with me too, and he was like, wait, so they all just go into the room? Do they change? He said, everybody's sleeping on the same bed. I said, husband, even you have a problem with this because that is strange. But they go to the boom boom room, and I was annoyed and I was bothered and I was traumatized that I'm going to be seeking help by my therapist. For some reason, they start by discussing Joanna and Aaron and how they think she wants Chris. They seem more concerned with riling up and being like the couples therapist of the house to either cover up from their own stuff or whatever it is, because y'all been in everybody else's business, but made sure to get your reservation to be in that boom boom room alone from everybody else. But they do think that Joanna wants Chris, which we already know. I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to just say this. Why I have to see that man eat her feet? Why? Okay, I understand fetishes exist and things like that. But why did I need to see that? And I don't care who it is. They could be the most beautiful people in the world. I don't want to see. I have a thing with toes. Like he has a foot fetish. I'm the exact opposite. I don't even fully, when I be getting my pedicures, I be annoyed. I can't wait to get out of there. I don't like my feet being touched. I don't like seeing other people's feet touched. I don't like any of that. So for me, that was a struggle to watch. That was a struggle to watch. James, do you have any thoughts or feedback on toe sucking?
I don't.
I feel
Not
like they
at
did
all.
this too.
I don't
Thinking
have
it
a
would
problem with feet, but the problem that I have with that is that I don't need to see that. I don't need to see grandma and grandpa over there, um, just over there sucking on toes and putting lotion into crevices. I don't need to see that. I'm sorry. I'm good.
I feel like they did that to some extent to try and like have a moment on the show, but it was just
I agree with that, but I don't care. I want to know what happened with this engagement
they're not going to talk about it.
and the other lady. I need to know what. Well, then get the fuck off this camera.
He's taking off my camera.
Yeah,
Listen,
because don't nobody care about y'all.
they
I
had their
don't.
moment. She's not even interested. She said she made a promise to God not to have sex, but I guess that doesn't include her feet going in people's mouths.
Right, and I was like, lady, you already done went there. So what is
You
you?
can
What
have
is you?
intimacy without
What's
your
like?
toes
Yeah,
going
y'all
into
can.
his mouth
Y'all
without you
can.
taking a shower.
Yes, y'all can do intimacy without penetration as well, lady. You get off the screen. Get off our because y'all are playing. Y'all are playing. Y'all are here for a check, and I hope it's worth it.
I do. Moving on, y'all. Sienna mentioned, and like the video if you haven't already. Sienna mentioned, and to my replay gang was good thug life. I love y'all. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate you. Sienna mentioning how Brandon calling the Kama Sutra made her feel away. He called Kama Sutra their pose in the previous episode. They did Kama Sutra where every couple got into a pose. It was really an activity where they dropped the ball, but Brandon was like, this is boring. The pose was boring. Now, days later, apparently Sienna is feeling away because, in my opinion, she's looking for something to be mad at so she doesn't look crazy because I think she knows how crazy she looks. I really do believe she knows how she looks. And I'm just not understanding. Talk to Brandon instead of going off if that's really what upset you. I'm not going to take away or negate someone's feelings. If you're saying that this upset you, then you have every right to be upset. It's how you handle that feeling that matters. If you feel like the person that you're supposed to be here to figure it out with for a potential relationship has said something that made you feel away or like it was a dig at you, then you need to go talk to him. But instead, she mentions Brandon talking to Millie, and she wants Brandon to tell her what he talked to Millie about. And I just felt like she was combative. She's insufferable, same stuff. Again, she can go ask Millie on her own. He's not able to speak. When I say that this man could not get 3 words out, he was genuinely not able to speak. It just seems like she's a lot as a whole. Then she gets mad that his feet's touching the bed. Get your feet off my bed. Get your feet off my bed. I'm like, this is not your bed. For one. And for two, why, if you're mad about what he said and the fact that he's not telling you what he said, even though she didn't give him room to say it, and he doesn't seem like the guy that's going to be like, hey, I'm trying to tell you, or who's going to like holler, what do you want the man to do? Here's all I'm going to say. Sienna's dumb as hell. The man is not unattractive. He may not be my cup of tea, but he's not an unattractive man. He has a job. He takes care of his children. He seems to be in touch with his feelings. He attempted to talk to you. You done called him a bitch, chased him around, gone off on him, been combative, hollered, and done the most. He hasn't even flinched or looked like he wanted to grab you by the neck the way I do when I watch the show. So you're going off and doing all of this, trying to make it seem like he's manipulating you or putting you in a bad space, when really your dumbass is just making it to where when he goes home, anybody who's watched the old network will probably happily date his ass, especially seeing how calm he is after dealing with you and your crocheted faux locks. So I just want for Sienna to relax. We do see that Brandon, when he goes downstairs, he's over it. He walks away. He's like, I've been done with her since she called me a bitch, which I honestly felt and believed. But he's like, I'm here. It's probably something contractual. Shay, you need to focus on your own shit, okay? You're the only person here who's been with somebody for over a decade, and then through that decade, they done made children on you and stuff. You need to focus on your stuff. You are egging on Sienna. I understand that you're cool with her and she is sweet. I'm not saying Sienna is mean, but somebody tell her she's wrong. She comes downstairs because she hears everyone discussing it. And pretty much no one can take Sienna's side. She's done too much. It's been days of it. So she comes and throws some dead flowers at him. I'm not going to beat the dead, whatever, but the girl is just too much for me. She's toxic. I really hope that she gets fed up and leaves. And I don't want Brandon to stay with this person. I want him to do like Forrest Gump did. Run, Forrest, run, please. And don't you stop. Keep running. That's how I feel. I will get James's opinion on how the episode ended and all of that, but
It's honestly triggering to me because I went through that. I went through someone bringing up old shit to try to prove a validated point about me that is irrelevant because we moved on from that. I went through that continuously. So I know exactly how Brandon feels. You are done with someone when you feel like you can't get through to them. That you feel like at any given moment, you're going to throw up shit that's irrelevant because we got past that. Because, y'all, they got past that. They got past all of that. She held on to it because she has nothing else on him. I went through that. So I sympathize with him because I understand what that's like to be with somebody not knowing that they're holding on to something that you thought you got past because they can't fundamentally break you the way they want to. And it's tough. So I have sympathy for Brett. I don't think he's perfect in this. I think there is some fault that is his, just like there is some fault in my situation that is mine. But at the end of the day, I understand this relationship a little bit more because I went through this just recently. So I just feel like she needs help, very serious help. Those tantrums and those throwing out is because she's mad because nobody is taking her at face value and they can see the imperfection. I'm telling you, that's what she's mad at. So her getting angry and throwing things and all this kind of stuff, that's the response of the inner broken child, obviously.
Yeah, I just feel like once you get to a certain age, you're responsible for bettering yourself. You're responsible for catching things about yourself. And it's up to Sienna if she wants to change. I'm not going to say she's a horrible person. Again, neither of us have said that Brandon's not at fault, but nothing that he has done or said warrants the behavior from this woman. Agreed. Nothing this man has done and said makes what she's done okay. Nothing. She needs to keep to herself instead of damaging others who are just looking for love, in my opinion. But that's pretty much where the episode ends. We're going to see more next week. It looks like Joanna going to look like Diamond and Aaron aren't letting go of Joanna's overly friendly ways, which I personally think keep your foot on it, because if she actually liked Aaron J and somebody was overly friendly with him the way she is with Chris, she would feel away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 100% agree.
It's like her that think it's okay when they do it, but when it happened to them, they crying. But that is the episode. This show is a lot, you guys. It's so much. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Live replay gang, those who watch when we're not live, I appreciate you guys. We will be live again tomorrow on
tomorrow for
Love and
Marriage Huntsville season 8 episode 1. Y'all, I am not ready for this, but I'm going to do it because I'm out of content. And also Monday we'll be back on your channel, right, for Jersey, for Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh yeah, the Housewives of New Jersey, that comes on Monday, you guys. I'll be posting something to the community board as well as to all of our public pages about that. But tap into Love and Marriage Huntsville on James's channel. The show has gotten really, really popular in recent times. Personally, I feel like this is a show that does the same thing and the people argue about the same thing season after season. So I'm hoping to see something change, and Melanie's voice can sometimes feel like, but other than that, it's entertainment. I'm happy. I feel like if you like the show, which James is a huge fan, that you should cover it because people will sense that. But I appreciate everybody for watching, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Adios. I will be live again in 5 minutes for Love After Lockup. Adios, y'all.
Have fun. Bye.
Bye.